Good evening, everybody. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. This is Scott Morgan. We're out the Motor City Madmouth, not in the Motor City and not in Florida either. I happen to be in Wisconsin for the week. Got some business meetings to take care of, have some family and all that business. And for all those that know how insane I am, only drove 20 and a half hours from Friday night to Saturday to get here. And thankfully I did because there was a little snow that flowed on Sunday. But anyways, we got the dream team here on tonight. And I'll go right to left. Coach John Bonamigo, welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. And Smoking Jeremy B, the encyclopedia of whatever.
Hi, how you doing? What do you want to know?
All right, man. And Bo, the guy that keeps me somewhat smart with his updates about changing all the times there when I don't know how to competently do it myself with a picture and all that business. Welcome back, Bo. As always.
How's it going, guys?
And we got George Eichorn, GE.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
George Eichorn.
Good to see you, Scott, everybody.
And Mr. U. What's up, buddy?
I'm happy to carry you guys' bags.
Oh, you're the BESD. And last but not least, Mel Farr Jr. is back in the house. I ended up going through Atlanta at 5:20 in the morning, so I wasn't going to bother you that early en route to the Great White North. But hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Mel.
Hey, guys. How's everyone doing?
All right. Well, we have a busy agenda here, so let's go out there and get to it. I have a feeling the comments are going to be going, and I'm working with a nice new mouse pad here with the mobile thing. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of comments in here first. Okay. Jimmy Anderson. Okay, we're going to sign Jeremy to read the comments tonight. Go ahead.
He goes, yeah, how about my Broncos, Jeremy? They're doing fantastic. Right now, I think they got the longest active win streak in
right now it's
NFL.
5 games. Okay.
Yep.
And then the next comment, Christopher here, George. Hello, everybody. All right.
All right, Christopher. Thanks for joining, man.
I have a feeling we're going to have a loaded house. All right, so let's go right to the agenda here. Okay. And we'll start off with the fact that the Carolina Panthers firing Frank Reich after a 1-10 start. Actually, Carolina travels to Tampa Bay this weekend. Now, I personally think that they should have kept Steve Wilkes and promoted him. He had a 6-6 record. David Tepper, by the way, has gone ahead and had 5 head coaches in 4 years and has compiled a 30-63 record. Not good. All right, we'll lead it off with Coach Bono.
Well, here's the thing. Billionaires don't get to be billionaires by having other people tell them what to do, and I kind of feel like he's the owner of the team. I think Wilkes got a raw deal. He definitely deserved to have a shot at being the head coach, but that wasn't the vision. They knew they were going to, they were going to draft a quarterback. They wanted to get the head coach that could develop that quarterback, rather than hire an offensive coordinator and then lose him after a year, because if the kid does well, then that OC goes and becomes a head coach somewhere else. We've seen that happen before, Cleveland, right? So it's, it's just kind of, you got to chalk it up to the guy has an idea of what he wants. Is it going to be an attractive job? No, but there'll still be 9 million people lined up for that, for the opportunity, and they'll get somebody, and just, they're committed to that quarterback. They drafted him, and they've got to find somebody that can bring him along and hopefully get some continuity with the system, because he's going to be in that rut now where he's going to be with his second offensive coordinator, second offense in 2 years. And that's one of the worst things that can happen to a quarterback. Look what's going on with New England. Jones had a promising rookie year, right? But then Daniels leaves, and then they had the Patricia and Judge experiment last year. This year it's Bill O'Brien. It's every time that spot changes, you know, things change. You know, you didn't, and that's tough on a guy. You know what I mean? The best chance is when they have a consistent cast of characters around them and they're being consistently coached a certain way. That's my take.
All right, latest comment, Jimmy Anderson. I was on with Jeremy on his other podcast a few months ago. Well, that's good. It's called the Lions podcast. So let's go ahead. I'll read a couple of these so we can move along to everybody. Lions podcast. Good. All right, then another comment. We'll get to those late night.
He was right after the Broncos lost to Miami when he came on. And yeah, it was a long night.
Must have been a hump
I said, wait a minute. I heard them score again. And he goes, oh, you shut up.
Tell me how you really feel. All right, Ken Ballard, good to have you back as well.
Smoking Dad.
Well, there you go. All right, with that said, we'll turn it over to Jeremy on this topic here. So,
Mr. Tepper, why must you decide within a year of hiring someone before you even give them a chance when you have barely an O-line? You got a quarterback that can barely see over the O-line, and no continuity had been established yet. You made the Chicago Bears mistake of 2017. Trading away your best wide receiver, trading up into the draft to get your quarterback and taking away his weapons, a.k.a. Mitch Trubisky, a.k.a. Justin Fields. It's happening again. David Tepper is pepper spray for the Carolina Panthers.
okay, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, you feel bad for him because he doesn't have any weapons. The offensive line is terrible. And you kind of feel bad for Frank, right? Like, he was put in two really kind of terrible situations being a coach, gets let go in both locations. Does he get a third bite at the apple? Tough to say the way he went down in these two. So you feel like he really didn't get kind of a fair shot at it. Didn't get to bring in his people, didn't get to help draft. Like, it just kind of set up for failure, really. So, and you feel bad for Bryce Young because he's obviously set up for failure as well. We've watched this, happen numerous times. Anytime you have changing systems over and over and over, even if you are a top talent, you're not going to be successful.
All right, let's go back to the chat room. It's busy. I want to make sure everybody's comments get acknowledged. Go Caps, what up? I don't know. What's up? What's up with you? Go Caps. Thanks for being a part of this. Next, we have Will Vogel. Hello, everyone, and good evening. All right, hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Will. Okay, let's keep it going. Great game last night on Monday Night Football. I don't know if that's a comment of sarcasm or not.
But I enjoyed it about as much as watching paint dry, James.
Well, I didn't watch it. I was out with the family, so there you go.
You didn't really miss anything.
12-10.
That's okay. Mamma Mia's Pizza Place out in Milwaukee was great, so I was really happy about that. All right, let's keep going.
Is that a plug?
What?
That was a shameless plug. Yeah.
We're our new sponsor.
What do y'all think?
I don't know. We're going to end up in Milwaukee, but this is where we're at this week, and I'll be going back to Miller Park later this week for dinner. So, Caps, what do you think about Jack Del Rio fired? You know, I don't have the topic, but we're going to talk about it. Okay. Well, first of all, who have I left off on?
It's my turn.
Okay.
Yep, George's turn.
We'll talk about Jack Del Rio after that.
Yeah, he's a bad owner. I agree. Tepper, he wants instant gratification. He has no faith in his head coach, a good man, Frank Reich. And the Bryce Young situation is biting him in the you-know-what. You know, the kid is 1-10. The fact of the matter is they have a mess in Carolina right now. They have a deep, deep mess. And it's going to be tough to get out. You just have to plan these things. Look at the Lions situation, other teams that have worked their way over the years trying to build back their roster, build back the momentum in their organization. And I'm sorry, I think he's a terrible owner there, and I really feel bad for both Frank and for Bryce. Now, Bryce still has his job, of course, and it's a tough one. It really is. I feel bad for them, and, of course, all the fans that are suffering through this in the great state of North Carolina.
Okay, Mr. U.
not much I can add there except to say that this is definitely a hasty decision. You can tell because Tampa did the same thing last year with Matt Rule. Gave him 5 games into the season. He gave him his walking papers. But as far as Wright goes, I don't know if he's really a quarterback whisperer. I mean, Bruce Arians is a quarterback whisperer. He had Peyton, Big Ben, Andrew Luck, and Carson Palmer when he came past his regression. So I don't know. But he's been 3 years left on the contract to send him back home on the couch. It doesn't seem fiscally responsible. So I don't know if he, coach said, maybe this is his MO. He can do what he wants because he's the boss and it doesn't have to make sense. But I mean, I get a lot of the love and hate from Panthers fans out here who have to suffer through this. I got a good buddy that is probably jumping off a bridge right now, but they're going through it. It doesn't seem to be getting any better anytime soon. So it's a rough situation, man.
Okay, Mel.
Yes, it's amazing how these individuals become billionaires with the types of decisions that they make regarding employees or personnel. He was with the Steelers, so he knows how they run their organization. These things take time; they don't happen overnight. I mean, he thought he had the guy in Matt Rule, paid him a whole bunch of money to leave that Baylor where he was coaching and come coach in the NFL. That didn't work out. Think about it. What if the Fords would have been the same way with their coach in his first year? And if they did, after 11 games or 12 games or whatever, they said, you know what, we've seen enough. This guy's not going to pan out. Let's go another direction. These things take time. I mean, the team was a bad team. They're devoid of talent. It takes time. Frank Reich walks on land. He does not walk on water. He's not a miracle worker. He can only work with what he has. And you have to also look at, what he has. They aren't paying a whole lot of money to the quarterback position. So why are they so devoid of talent? Well, they gave up a whole lot to move up there, but I mean, they could have still been active in free agency and brought some playmakers in there to try to help this young kid along. You got to put the assets around them that are going to help this young man. You got to get him an offensive line, and you got to get him some playmakers so he becomes a distributor. He becomes more like Magic Johnson, John Stockton. He's just distributing the football like he was doing in Alabama, as opposed to trying to put this all on his shoulders. He's small in stature. He's not the kind of guy that can carry the team, metaphorically or literally. He can't carry the team. I was never, really impressed with him at Alabama. So, I thought C.J. Stroud was a better quarterback, and it's looking that way. But again, situations are different. Every situation is different, but it just baffles me how these guys get to be at the top of their profession and they just make lousy, personnel decisions within, in their football organization, how they just can't seem to get that right.
It's funny. I was just going to say it's funny they have no talent because they paired it with also no draft picks. So it's not even like they're going to get better.
The only thing I'll say about the thing here before we go on to Jack Del Rio is this. Frank Reich's getting paid $25,000 a day to do nothing. Number two, okay, Tepper, 5 coaches in 4 years, as I mentioned, 30-63 record. What else you need to know? The guy has no patience whatsoever, and it's reflected in the 1-loss record and the fact that, he's not very patient, as indicative that when you have 5 coaches in a short period of time. All right. You know what? I'm going to go on to Go Caps and get everybody's opinion here. What do y'all think about Jack Del Rio getting fired? All right, Coach, will get it off for you.
I think he's just got a 6-week vacation, and everybody else is probably going to follow him. I think it was, I think things aren't going well there in Washington, obviously, and Ron probably felt like he had to make a move to give himself a chance.
Okay. All right. Jeremy?
Bring him back home to Detroit as defensive assistants, fire John Fox, and let him help dial up the pressures again.
Okay, fair enough. Bo?
Yeah, I mean, this is basically a final attempt for Rivera to try and keep his job, but ultimately the front office, the whole coaching staff, they're going to blow this thing up. I mean, they already moved off of some of their players on defense. They've already fired a couple of people. Del Rio wasn't the only one fired. They got rid of their cornerback coach as well. They're basically going to clear house. This is his opportunity to try and maybe audition for a different job, but I think he's gone either way at this point.
George.
It's a terrible loss for the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, 45-10. They've just aren't getting any traction at all this year. The Commanders, it doesn't surprise me. It's a routine that a lot of coaches do, head coaches, where unfortunately they find somebody that they have to make a scapegoat, or more than one person. Like you mentioned, Bo, sometimes it's not just one coach, but I don't like these changes in the middle of the season. I know, Coach, you told us about that and how you don't like those several episodes ago of this show. And I don't either. I think they're a waste and just covering somebody else's mistake. So I'm not in agreement with it, but I know Del Rio, he's going to land on his feet somewhere.
Mr. U.
I think he dodged a bullet by leaving Washington. There are some things that I didn't hear anybody mention just yet that was going on with him that would precipitate him probably leaving. It'd be best for him. There's some comments that he made that I guess people consider tone deaf. That's not a good thing with a new regime that's trying to deal with everything to recover from what Snyder did to the franchise. And then I guess it was a mishandling of the Jermaine Davis talented player. That's something happened with that. I'm not quite sure all the details. Also, communication issues I heard about. Then he switched from the 3-4 to the 4-3, but then had the players to play it. Matt Ioannidis was, he can play anyway. He was versatile, but he's a free agent right now with no job. Sweat and then Deron Payne, essentially playing out of position. So that kind of helped make the decision a lot easier to make. But Del Rio should bounce back. I don't see that not happening for him. He's been around for a while. He had the Raiders or Jaguars. He'll find a job. He'll be okay.
Now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's worried about Jack Del Rio. He's going to be straight either way. Ron has been a dead man walking all year long, ever since the new ownership came in there, and it was going to be an uphill climb for him. And it's been an uphill climb for him. He hasn't had anybody at that position that you need to win your ball games. They really haven't really found that quarterback. They've been working with somebody. Ron, unfortunately, they have not given that to him. The quarterback, you trade away two of your better players at the trade deadline on defense. That basically tells me you're throwing your hands up. How involved was the coaching staff? Was Ron Rivera in that decision? I don't know. And then, getting rid of Jack Del Rio at this time, I don't necessarily know what that does. Maybe he didn't want to stay there and let Ron Rivera call the plays and then take a back seat to that, just help put the game plan together. But he was going to call the signals on the sideline. Maybe that's something that he didn't want to do, or maybe Ron has too much respect for him to do that to him, to kind of delegate him to that type of position. So, they decided to part ways with him now. I know he had to get, ownership approval for that. I'm sure they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever you want to do. You're on borrowed time anyway. You're going to be right after him, right out the door. But it did surprise me. Not for the fact because they're playing poorly, but because everybody's job on that team is in jeopardy at the end of the year.
Okay. Just want everybody to know that the audio version of Inside the Pigskin can be heard on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcasts. Please hit the red subscribe button on YouTube, South Florida Tribune. We're obviously looking for more subscribers to build the brand. Please also comment, like, and share the broadcast. Want to be a guest? No problem. All you have to do is participate in the chat room or send your topics to southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you want to advertise, please feel free to give me a call at 954-304-4941. I'll give you a very cost-efficient rate. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Now available, okay? I have a book called Lessons from the Microphone, tuning into the enduring wisdom of visionary leaders, and it's available on Amazon or Kindle. So check out sidelinesports.net.com. We're developing their website for them as well. Just want to get that information out there. All right, as far as Jack Del Rio, I'm going to go along with Coach, okay? Consider it a 6-week vacation. He'll get rehired. The guy has an incredible resume, and they may have done him a good favor to give him a little bit of time off for his own. Now, I've got another comment in the chat room. Nobody has to comment. I'm just going to read them so we can get to the other things we're going to talk about. Will Vogel says, I can't stand Tepper as a Panthers fan, and he expects too much and needs to be realistic. I don't think anybody's going to give you a debate on that one. Well, that's for sure. So we move through it along here. Okay. Another new person to the show. What's up? Talk chats. All right. Let's keep it going. You talked about Ron Rivera being the new defense. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just trying to do that to just buy a little time. And of course, James Burgess. Pepper's making a run at Ursay for the Dan Snyder. Well, that's pretty good. I like that chat. That was really good. Really good. All right. Keep them coming. Jeremy can tell you I said numerous podcasts. I wanted Stroud from the beginning, and I like Frank Reich. I think that's probably a no-brainer anyways. Okay, I want Panthers fans to bring back Wilkes as coach. He was loved here as a coordinator and as interim coach. You know what? I'm going to bring that up a little bit. And if you guys want to comment, fine. Steve Wilkes had a 6-6 record as an interim coach. You seem to be bringing it together, but obviously, you know, Tepper had other ideas. Hey, James, okay, for Ken Ballreich, okay, and Will Vogel, you need to have patience, especially with a rookie quarterback, no doubt about that. Back to Go Caps, okay. Ron Rivera is the one that needs to get fired. Well, that's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, okay? And then let's keep it going. We have James Burgess, no pun intended. QB's blossom after a year or more of seasoning. Tepper's going to mess with this kid if he doesn't get his immediate, let you read this one,
Gratification.
under control. Okay, back to James Burgess. Okay, there we go. Let's keep it going. Del Rio gets to have a happy new year now. He'll be fine. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Mike Durango. All right, let's go ahead and see what he's got.
Oh, wow.
All right, Jeremy, you get to read this one. It's a lot for me to.
Just some numbers for you. Eagles 30th in the league with third down conversions given up and 20th in points allowed. They're in their last 4 victories, they are giving up more yards than they themselves capture. Eagles had a 10-1 ratio in which refs helped them beat the Bills, and I counted a minimum of 4 unnoticed calls that should have gone the Bills' way. Eagles have been milking games all year, unlike San Francisco, who blew out 6 teams of their 7 wins. The milk dripping stop here. It's him.
I ran out of space.
Yep. I think it's simple
well,
to figure out.
All right, well, good. Mike put a lot of effort typing, that's for sure. I get typing grants. Okay, and then we got Darcy Novell. Thoughts on Coach of the Year. We'll get to that in a moment. Houston with Ryan. Okay, well, that's a good observation. All right. Great comments in the chat room. I love it when they're like that. Okay. So with that said, let's move on to the topic about the Michigan 30-24 win over Ohio State Buckeyes Saturday at the Big House. Jim Harbaugh will return for the Iowa game. So, all right, Coach. You know what? You can sit Harbaugh for 3 days. The Big Ten can't do anything, right? And when the Big Ten can't do anything, and he took his punishment, there you go.
Well, I'm a Michigan fan. I mean, I paid tuition there, so that makes me but I've always been a Michigan fan. And, I like Jim, and I'm also a huge Sharon Moore fan. Sharon was on my staff for 3 years at Central Michigan, and I was really just tickled to see him get an opportunity to step in and do a great job. So I'm really happy. It was a great game, hard fought game. I don't know if anybody saw the comments that Harbaugh had about, I thought he had really insightful comments about how it's obviously an important game, but it's not life and death.
I don't know what that sound is. Well, keep it going anyways, and we'll work through it.
Jeremy?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the Michigan game was amazing, and here's the best part: is that when Michigan trounces Iowa coming up, the Big Ten commissioner, is going to have to hand that trophy to Jim Harbaugh.
Football, you're ahead. That's good. All right. That is good. You don't have to go any further. I love comments like that. All right, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just a testament to how good Michigan is for them to be able to go through, do the job they needed to do, and not have their coach on the sideline. That team is definitely primed to win this year, but it's got to be this year.
Great, George.
Yeah, tremendous game, Scott. I mean, the whole state of Michigan and the rest of the nation has seen this team develop. Everything being thrown at them. I've never, ever heard of a team losing their head coach for 6 games, winning them all. And obviously now they have to get by Iowa first, but they got the number 2 seed in the playoffs. And it's just been a tremendous year. I mean, they've got so many good athletes there. There's so much depth. When Blake Corum decided to come back, and Roman in the receiving core, and then JJ. I mean, it's just it's them playing for the team, not playing for themselves. They're playing as a team, and it's sure showing on the field. So, great win by University of Michigan.
Hey, Mr. U.
I'm a long-time Wolves fan, so I'm over the moon. I lost my voice this weekend howling at the TV set, so I was just totally all in on this one. But congratulations to the team, man, and to Harbaugh, having to deal with all of the chatter and still get team able to play and stick to their plan and even adjust, especially during that game, to pull a win out and potentially have a step towards 3 Big Ten titles in a row. So pretty excited about the next game coming up, man. They did an awesome job, man. I couldn't be prouder. Hate to see about Zach Zinner going out. That still gives to me some hoping that he recovers well. I think one of the guys here said it's going to be like several months before he recovers. So I'm just hoping that happens soon and get back on the field in the draft, I guess, with a NFL team. Hopefully the Giants or the Lions. Man, go blue, man. I'm so excited about the team, man. So excited.
All right, Mel. Yeah, we're having some transmission problems on Mel ends. Mel.
Can't hear you, Mel.
There's something wrong with your mic, man.
Yeah, there's something wrong with your
Sounds like your mic
When you're on
shorted
mute,
out.
it stops. I think it's on his side.
Turn that bug zapper off, Patty Grimes says.
Oh, you know what? Let me go through a couple of comments and hopefully Mel will get it straightened out because I want to address all of them. Jeremy, read them. We're not going to always comment. We still have some things we need to get to. And I know Bo and Mr. U are going to have to go to another show shortly. I want to get them involved as much as possible.
Yep.
So just read them through, Jeremy, okay?
It's simple. If the Niners block for Purdy, they stay against doing play action, and they will break down the average linebackers in that very average secondary.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Hear
All
me
right.
now?
We hear you, Mel.
Okay.
All right,
No,
hold on one second, Mel. Quickly, Jeremy, on these other
Go
ones.
Ohio State.
All right, well, that.
Go where?
All right, keep it going. Mel,
Mel thoughts on the NCAA rankings.
Here, we'll give you that one.
With Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Washington. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with that. I mean, it's going to be tough for Florida after losing their quarterback. I think Florida State, rather, it's going to be tough for them losing their quarterback. He's been a big part of their success and getting the program to where they are right now. But I'm fine with that. I don't have a dog in the fight, so my Bruins aren't doing anything. But I'm fine with. I root for Alabama. We'll see what happens here in a few days here in the SEC championship and see if they have an opportunity to get in there. But Georgia's probably the best football team, and we don't get I don't think a lot of people get an opportunity to watch them that much. But they're very, Kirby's built a monster over there. They're very difficult to deal with. You know, they're very, very difficult to deal with. They're big, they're fast, they're physical, they're nasty, and you know, they're good, and they know they're good, and they're deep. So it's going to be tough for anybody to. I think it's going to be tough for somebody to beat them because they're good. You know, they're just that good.
All right, Mel, while we're on you, now that Mike's working, give me your thoughts briefly on the Michigan-Ohio State game.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Michigan fan. I'm not an Ohio State fan either, but I'm a Harbaugh fan, and you know, I appreciate how
That's better.
how he came through the ranks as far as a coach. You know, started out a little small school, University of San Diego, and you know, then got the Stanford job, turned that program around, got the San Francisco job, did a great job there, and has got the Michigan job. And you know, it's taken him a little time, but he's I think he plays his brand of football. I think for a little while he was trying to play a different brand of football. That brand wasn't working for him, and he got back to the old school type of football that he's comfortable with, the kind of football that he grew up watching and playing, which is hard-nosed, smash-mouth, physical football. I mean, you've got to be physical at the point of attack, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that kind of football, all the razzle-dazzle, the 5 wide, 4 or 5 wides. I mean, that all looks good, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to, when push comes to shove, you need to be able to run the football and you need to be able to stop the run, and that's what Michigan does. That's just that's the football that we grew up watching, Big Ten football.
Okay, let's go to some of the other comments. I'm just going to put them up there. I'll read them real quick. We'll keep moving the flow. Okay, well, Bandit Sports, we know how you feel. Go Iowa. You didn't like Michigan. And now let's talk. Okay, it's safe to say there. Okay,
They going. Don't worry about it.
Well,
He's
Ohio.
going ham.
Okay, good. Good old. Gotta love you, Bandit Sports. It's okay. We cater to everybody. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right. U of M question: does Harbaugh want to be back in the NFL? If he does, there's a Brinks trucks already. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Though, with all due respect, James, I think you're right. We'll have to see how the NCAA's investigation plays out. We have a technical expert on the in the chat room called Darcy Mavell. Mel, fix the plug. Okay, here we go. Like we're doing okay here. I love all the technical support we're getting from around the world, Canada, wherever. Okay, let's keep it going. There's something wrong with the Lions. Mike, too, probably out this week. 8 greater than D. All right, now Patty Grimes is giving us a prediction. U of M by 21. And Feather Freebird. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Feather Freebird, great show, guys. Appreciate it. Darcy Melville blow everyone up on a take. Okay, well, whatever. Blow up, whatever. Okay, Patty Grimes. Jeremy, congratulations on turning Bug Zapper off. It sounds better. All right, I'm cool. All right, we always try to keep everything real here. Humor is a good thing, according to my late father-in-law, Fred Emily. I love him. Rest in peace. Your sense of humor is carried off to me, especially on broadcasts like this, where they go in every direction on the planet. Okay, and if Michigan lose, they do still get into the playoffs. Yeah, I'd say they will. I don't know about that. Well, let's just keep it going. I have other topics to get to. And now we got Brent DeWitt. Michigan won't lose. All right, got to get them all in there. Good stuff. All right, now what we're going to do here as we move this thing along, I want everybody to give me a quick take, okay, on Travis Kelce is what you're going to do, and then we got some games to get to. So with that said, do we have any new ones here? No, we're good. All right, so Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce becomes the fastest tight end to reach 11,000 yards and become the fourth to reach this plateau. All right, Coach Bono, pretty good stuff. Thanks for the kind words, man.
I think, obviously, talented player, but I think it takes all of the factors, right? Good player, the right system, the right quarterback, and coaching, quarterback believes in them, coach, offense coordinator believe in them, and it's not something that's easy to do, but you definitely need the help from other people. Good for him.
Okay, Jeremy.
It's amazing what Mr. Swift has done in his tenure here, because nobody knew who he was till he started dating Taylor, right? I mean, that's the way the Swifties are making it out.
I was waiting for that. Okay. All right, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, some of the way that the game has changed has helped that a lot, right? Tight ends are more receivers now than they used to be. But, I mean, credit to him. He's a fantastic talent. Obviously, he's paired with Andy Reid and Mahomes, which a very explosive offensive, design. So, I mean, kudos to him for getting that milestone. I mean, that is amazing, really.
It really is. Okay, George.
Yeah, he got a great milestone. And then how about that block his brother threw and Jalen Hurts, the winning touchdown in overtime? I mean, those brothers, those parents are so proud of their boys. It's just been tremendous talent. Both of them have shown us here in their National Football League careers. Good job, both of you.
Mr. U.
I refuse to credit Taylor Swift for his good fortune. I just ain't going to do it.
Yeah, right.
Just what I'm seeing now, how they use him in that offense, it's almost no chance that he's not going to end up being considered the GOAT of all the tight ends. I mean, the numbers, it's overwhelming. He's already in legendary company right now with Antonio Gates and Jason Witten. So it's only a matter of time before he is considered the GOAT for however long that lasts. But it's almost an eventuality that has to happen now.
Okay, Mel.
Yeah, like Coach Barno said, I mean, a lot of things have to go right, and he's in a perfect situation for himself. I mean, just think about it. This career may not have ever happened. The guy was he was a quarterback. He came to the University of Cincinnati. He wasn't very highly recruited as a quarterback, and then got kicked off the team for a violation when they went down to a bowl game, I believe it was, down in New Orleans, and he indulged in something that he shouldn't have, and he ended up getting kicked off the team. And it was his brother that actually, asked the coach to give him another chance, and he gave him another chance, but there were some very strict rules that he had to abide by, and obviously, he was able to do that and have this career. And then they also, switched him to tight end, and he was able to have the career that he's had. I mean, he's a talented guy. There's no question about it. Very talented football player, playing in an era right now where tight ends get a lot of balls, where they are a very high value player. Whereas, when I was playing, they're really just, an additional blocker. They weren't really looked at in the passing game, so to speak, other than maybe Kellen Winslow, something like that. There were a few guys that were really looked at as receiving tight ends, but for the most part, tight ends were just an additional blocker. So he's really kind of revolutionized that position. And who knows, where he's going to, take these numbers, how high these numbers are going to go. I mean, he could very well go down as the greatest tight end that ever played.
I'll tell you one thing I like about the Kelce story, and I really do. And like Brent DeWitt said, it does help that he's had Patrick Mahomes passing to him. He's a great tight end, but nowhere is he is good without Patrick Mahomes. That's a good point. And let me expand upon that before we get to a few games. I know Mr. U and Bo have to go to another show afterwards, but Kelce has had Patrick Mahomes passing to him. He's a great tight end, but nowhere near where he is without Patrick Mahomes. That's a valid point. You got to have a good quarterback. And another one that I think is one of the best ones out there is George Kittle, too. So, but more power to him. He when everybody thought that Tyreek Hill left for Miami, that they're wondering what the Chiefs receiving corps were going to be, but you know what? They still managed to win a Super Bowl. Tyreek is looking for his first. All right. But that said, okay, I want to talk about 4 particular games this week while I have the full crew in place. We'll just give a brief observation on them. I'll go around really quickly, okay? All right. Detroit Lions at New Orleans Saints. So, Coach, what do you think of this one?
I think the Lions get back on track.
Okay. I'll give you all of them. San Francisco 49ers and Philadelphia Eagles.
Game of the week.
Okay. No, I like these comments. All right. KC Chiefs at Green Bay on Sunday night.
Green Bay gets smashed.
I'll tell you, Coach, you definitely know what the words keep it simple, stupid are. Boy, you mastered that really well. One more. Seattle at Dallas.
I think Seattle keeps it close, but Dallas wins.
Okay. All right. Jeremy, I'm going to hit you with all of them as well. In this order, Detroit Lions at Saints.
3 wide receivers out for the Saints plus the safety. They're in trouble. Lions win.
Okay. Next game, 49ers at Philadelphia Eagles.
Game of the week, I think the 49ers do win.
Okay. Next one, Chiefs at Packers.
All you had to do is say Chiefs. They're winning.
I like everybody. They're all getting the word keep it simple, stupid. What a beautiful thing. Okay. Seattle Seahawks at Dallas Cowboys. Jeremy.
This will prove whether Seattle's really good or Dallas is frauds. There is no in between because Dallas has yet to beat a team with a winning record.
Okay. Good. I like that. Okay, Bo.
Yeah, so I mean, the Saints are definitely going to lose that game. They played poorly, and now they got a lot of injuries. Lions roll. Yeah, like everybody else said, game of the week with the Niners and the Eagles. That is going to be a fantastic watch. I think the Niners get that game. What was the third one?
Okay. Well, all right.
Chiefs
What
attack.
one have you hit now?
The Chiefs and Green Bay. Yeah, that's why I put it out of my mind because Green Bay is going to lose that game. And then the Hawks going down to Dallas. With the amount of injuries and the inconsistent play from the Seahawks, I think they lose that game.
Okay, George.
The Lions will bounce back in fine fashion over the New Orleans Saints in a very crappy NFC South division. Green Bay, no chance to beat Kansas City at all. The Chiefs will run ramshot over them. And Seattle at Dallas, of course, Dallas is going to win that game at home, no question about it. And the game of the week, I think San Francisco is going to go in there and win that game because Philly's had their problems in certain instances this past few weeks, and San Francisco is going to really put the hurt on them. I'm going with Brock Purdy and the 49ers.
Okay, Mel.
You skip Mr. U.
All right, Mr. U, go ahead.
This is the kind of couch buffing that I'm used to, Mel. So that's my life. Anyways,
I have a disease called dementia, DUMBMENTIA, and
he
it's
just-
you know what it is now. Go
okay,
ahead,
it's medicine for that. It's medicine for that one. Okay, but the Saints got Thomas, Shaheed, and Olave out. Called people through in the 4 yards. Didn't touch the end zone. 5 field goals to win. That ain't gonna work against Detroit. They're gonna lose. Game of the week, I agree with you guys. Philly's been skating by. I've been saying it since week 2. They've been skating by for a long time. This is the buzzsaw they're going to run into. It's about over now. So now they're going to win that game. I like this KC Packers game a little bit more than you guys. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that. I'm thinking a 4-point difference between the two because Jordan Love is playing out of his mind right now. I like it. And the Chiefs haven't been who they were last year. So this is a closer game, but KC pulls it out. Seattle and Dallas. It's the hardest one for me because I feel as though I should never root for Dallas because it goes against everything I believe in. But in this case, I think Dallas is going to win, but it's not going to be a blowout like it has been for the time. So I think they probably get their first win against a winning team. So, but hopefully I'm wrong. I want to be wrong.
I want you to be wrong too.
All right, Mel. Now it's your turn.
The San Francisco, or excuse me, the
Detroit.
Yeah, the Detroit in New Orleans. That's a tough game. I mean, New Orleans is a tough place to play. Their defense is still pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be a tough out. And the Lions have not played that well the last couple of weeks, and they turned the ball over quite a bit. They've got to take better care of the football. They got to be a little smarter. Some of the decisions that they make, coaching wise as well. But I expect them to show up and be the team that we all thought they were at the beginning of the year, or thought they were capable of being at the beginning of the year. And I think they get back on the winning track this week. Without question, that the San Francisco Philly game is a game of the week. That's a big game. I'd like to see Philly win. I know it's going to be that's tough. I think they can get after the passer a little bit. San Francisco's a team that plays well when they have a lead. And if you can get them behind a couple scores and you put it on Brock Purdy's shoulders, that changes the whole complexion of the game. So I think they're able to do that. If they're able to do that, then they give themselves a chance. The Kansas City Green Bay game, that's not going to be worth watching. That's Kansas City. And then the Seattle Dallas game, that's on Thursday. That's going to be an interesting game. And they're playing in Dallas. It's going to tell us a lot about the Cowboys. If they don't win that game, there's going to be a lot of talk. Have a whole lot of time to talk in between now and Sunday, and the rest of the games are played. It'd be very difficult for them to live that down. You never know with Seattle and the Pete Carroll coach team. You just don't know. I know Geno's a little banged up, but the Cowboys should probably win that football game.
All right, I'll go very quickly. Lions, 49ers, Chiefs, and go with Dallas. I've been aching, and I'm going to also, since James Burgess wanted to go with all four, we'll just put his up there real quick. Lions, get right game. 49ers, wake Philly up for real. Green Bay getting stomped. Dallas proves Seattle can't do it this year. Okay. Put that up there because he went on a limb and did 4. You know what? There's one topic I really want to get in here. I'm only going to make mention in it, and if we have time, we will. But it's time to wonder or not whether Aaron Rodgers is a decent general manager. Nathaniel Hackett, worst offensive coordinator in the NFL. Okay, you have Alan Lazard, now a healthy scratch for games. Well, that's a scary thought, right? A healthy scratch. And, of course, you have Billy Turner, absolute turnstile on the offensive line. Randall Cobb, 3 catches and 12 targets for 20 yards. Wow, okay. I don't think anybody will put him on their fantasy league. Not that I know much about it. Tim Boyle, statistically one of the worst QBs in college professional football history. And last but not least, Dalvin Cook, 3 yards per carry, no touchdowns. All right, everybody can comment on it really quickly, and then I'll let Bo and Mr. Hugh give idea, let everybody know where they can get a hold of them. All right, go ahead, Coach. Any brief comment on that?
I'm at a loss right now.
Okay.
I think we should switch the order up a little bit. I want to hear what some of these other guys have to say about that.
All right, go ahead. All right, Jeremy, I know you're never at a loss. Go ahead.
Offensively, the Jets are a dumpster fire. They have a great defense. If they could score, they could win.
I like that. I leave it to Jeremy. Okay, Bo, follow up on that one.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is they're so inept at quarterback that I mean, and of course the offensive line isn't good. Let's be honest. I mean the rest of the team is built. That defense is nice. The offensive line leaves something to be desired, and of course the quarterback. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you, Jeremy and Bo are on a roll. All right, go ahead, Icorn.
Well, it's kind of hard to top that, but as far as Aaron Rodgers, that one struck me. Being the general manager, he does like to run the show, and whether he can do that successfully following the injury that he suffered or not remains to be seen. But obviously, Boyle is not the answer either. So the Jets are in a huge bit of hurt, 4-7, no chance for them to make the playoffs this year. But we'll see. We'll see if Rodgers has something left in the tank.
Okay, Mr. U.
They stink.
How do you really feel, Mr. U?
They stink. No playoffs, no nothing. See you next year, suckers.
Wow, that was good. Oh, I love a topic like this, and we got dumpster fire. See you next year, suckers. All right, Mel. We got these guys are the best, man. Coming up with this stuff. All right,
they all get gangrene for real. No, I'm just kidding.
You can't put all that on
Rodgers.
We can't put all that on it. Put all that on Aaron. He didn't draft a quarterback. He didn't assemble that offensive line. He made some suggestions about some players that he would like to have there that he's comfortable with. But we all know Randall Cobb has been done. I mean, he was done last year when they brought him back to the Giants. Now Lazard, nobody's doing a great job at wide receiver because they don't have anybody that can get him the ball. So I mean, it makes it very difficult. That's a very dependent position there. You're very dependent upon the quarterback to be able to get the ball to you. So none of the wide receivers there are having an outstanding year because they just don't have that position firmed up. The bad thing about it is they didn't have a plan B. I mean, they moved all their chips to the center, and that was it. They didn't have a plan B. They didn't even think that they were going to need a plan B. But they needed a plan B, a C, and a D. They needed quite a few plans in order for this season to be successful. They put all their eggs in one basket. They put it in Aaron Rodgers' basket, and it all went down the drain 4 plays into the season.
Okay. All right. Well, let everybody know how they can go hold you. I know you have a show in a few minutes.
Yeah. So you can find me right here on Tuesday nights, and of course my channel Football-Talk right here on YouTube. And then of course all the social medias, Football Talk with you.
Yeah, and Bo's a real huge help for us on Twitter and gives me a lot of technical advice I don't know anything about. So, he keeps me somewhat sane here, although I don't know if that's anything possible. And Mr. U, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
You.
You're looking for the audio podcast, wherever you get your audio streaming, iHeart, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, we're there. As far as video goes, YouTube primarily, and we simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter at They Call Me Mr. U.
There you go. All right. Well, Bo and Mr. U, we'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday night. Great job by the two of you. We really appreciate you guys. We're glad that you're a permanent part of Inside the Pigskin. You guys, to me, are paired up on a lot of shows, and we're glad we can pair you up on this platform as well. So,
Go Giants and take the Jets with you.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, Mr. U,
Man.
Mr. U, I got
on the interstate.
I do got one thing I want to float to you guys though,
Sure.
and it can't wait till next week because then it won't matter. Is with the winning the appeal, Washington State, Oregon State take over the Pac-12. They technically have the right in this in their new takeover where they could have the exiting schools disqualified from the Pac-12 championship game if they want.
Really?
How crazy is that? So even though that final meeting could determine whether or not Washington and Oregon, one of them gets into that Final Four, they actually have the veto rights now, as per the court, where they could keep either one of them from playing in the championship game since they won't be in that division or in that conference next year.
Didn't know that.
That's not fair.
That is one of the caveats that makes it so a one-loss Georgia and a one-loss Ohio State team gets back into the playoffs.
Could be crazy.
Georgia hasn't lost yet.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying if Alabama beats them, they're a one-loss team is what I'm getting at.
Oh, well, I didn't know you predicted that score.
No, I didn't predict it. I'm saying it could happen.
Don't sleep on Iowa, man.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, but there's a chance that we'll definitely follow it up next week for sure. But I'm glad you got that piece of information out in advance, so a lot of people will know what to expect as we go into championship weekend in college football. So, once again, Mr. U and Bo, you guys are great. We love having you on, and we'll catch you next week. Okay?
Easy, guys.
Take care.
And now there are 5. Okay. Well, you know what? With that said, great show tonight. So we'll let everybody know how they can get a hold of you. All right, Coach, welcome back.
You're muted, Coach.
You're muted, Coach.
I have some background noise. I want to make sure I wasn't contributing negatively to the show. But thank you for having me. As far as getting a hold of me, you can see me right here on LinkedIn, and high school season's over. So no more high school games on Fridays.
Still going on here in Georgia.
We're all done in Michigan.
I might come up for those.
We got 2 more weeks.
All right. Jeremy, go ahead.
Well, you can find me right here on the South Florida Tribune channel, where you can find me on Fire Up after the first year. There's all sorts of things coming. Just wait. You'll see. And also on Inside the Pigskin whenever Scott needs me. You can also find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, where I do my shows on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can also find me on the SouthFloridaTribune.com, where you can see my writings about the Lions and the NFL.
Okay, and also he'll be returning to the professor and the pupil after the first of the year. So just want to put that out there as well. All right. Let's see. Boyle, I like Burgess. This guy's a trip. All right, but I have to put the Boyle, isn't that a contagious infection?
Hey, by the way, you guys do realize that his initials, TB, is in medical terminology as in tuberculosis.
Oh, good to know. All right. Okay. All right, Mel, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you. Trip me up there, Jeremy.
Yeah. You can all the social media. You can catch me at Melfar Jr. on any social media, and you can follow what we have going on here in Georgia and also up in Detroit for the kids at melfar.org.
Okay, George.
Yeah, I got a book just like Scott does. Mine's called Detroit Sports Broadcasters on the Air. There's a link to purchase the book at the end of my columns that you'll find under the South Florida Tribune and the Motor City Tribune. And you can follow me on Twitter at StanGSports99 or Yahoo at gicorn@yahoo.com. Great show. Good to be part of this one. 108 Stitches. Inside the Pigskin is a great show. And Pundit's Pundit. I enjoy all of these with you guys.
All right. Well, you know what? Like I said, I enjoy continuity. I think that's the one thing about Inside the Pigskin is I always feel like I know I have my core leading to continuity. And that's why I like to go with as many people as I can because of the different opinions that are out there. So I'll put our information out there again in case you're just joining us, just so you know that this is Inside the Pigskin and that the audio version of Inside the Pigskin can be heard on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you get your podcast. So, I don't think people have to recognize the audio part because not everybody can watch us visually. Also, please hit the red subscribe button on YouTube, South Florida Tribune. We're striving for more subscribers, right, Jeremy? Right.
Always.
Please also comment, like, and share the broadcast. Want to be a guest? Participate in the chat room. And we'll be more than happy to bring you on. Send your topic ideas to southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Also, if you want to advertise cost efficiently, give me a call. 954-304-4941. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Good stuff, okay? So you can get us a lot of different ways. And, of course, now available, you have my book called Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. My book is available on Amazon or Kindle. So, you know what? Check out our partner, SidelineSports.com. And you know what? I'm going to end the show, with you guys, but also, you know what? Since our pal James Burgess is on a roll, now good to catch you all. Great week across the board. Enjoy the weekend games. And we look forward to seeing you next week. James, you were absolutely fantastic. And Darcy Mavell, we appreciate your comments as well. You had some pretty good tidbits in there, so that worked out real well. Everybody contributed really well on the show, and I can't thank y'all enough for doing it exactly that. So, and let's see. Also, a side note, as a Red Wings fan, the Kane signing, I haven't felt this weird since Charlie Osceola. Just in case you want to know that Patrick Kane is signing with the Detroit Red Wings, so we might as well get that as well.
Yeah.
So now we have a crack statistician out here providing us other news as well. So with that said, on behalf of Coach Sean Bonamigo, Jeremy Ballrick, Mel Farr Jr., and George Eichhorn, and Football Talk with Bo, and Mr. U, my name is Scott Morgan, not the Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Inside the Pigskin. We have a double header tomorrow night. We have Pundit's Pundit, and we also have the Sports Exchange. George Eichhorn is working 3 this week. So meanwhile, have a great week, everybody, and we will catch you the next time. Good night now, and thanks for joining us.